Hello, good, whatever time of the day it is for you, wherever you're at. Some more Guild Wars 2. Was in the middle of doing my chest farms when I saw a new mail for this character. This would be my engineer. And this was one of the engineers I made. And it's a 3rd birthday gift, which, look at that,
treasure.
right? Some good stuff. We're going to have to bounce this character to deposit some stuff in the bank before we do the chests. Make sure that we have room for everything, if that makes sense. We got 3rd year, so that 3rd year chest comes with 2 of the birthday boosters, which are fantastic. That's 24-hour bonus to Magic Find, World vs. World rank, experience from kills, gold for kills, and a 10% bonus PvP and World vs. World reward track progress, which is fantastic. Teleport friends. Those darn things. And a celebratory die pack. Ooh. Which, I mean, there's a lot of different options in, right? All these different kits you can pick from. I'll take care of that later. I'll just kind of drop that in there. And might as well deposit all this stuff while we are here. And make some room in the old bonk. Throw some of these down here. Oh, what am I doing? We need to exit the mists. Send him back to where he came from. And grab the chest. Nothing too exciting in that one. Oh, there we go. That was a good pull. Okay. Alright. I can accept that. So we're just going to finish out our little, our chest grabs here, getting our randoms and then in some cases getting materials for legendary crafting. I have not been on very much as of recently. I have pretty close to a 2-hour commute to work, which is insane. And recently it has been really just taxing me. So I've been taking what extra time I can to collect on sleep. Because those of you who know me know that we have you know, I have a, I won't say a difficult job, but it's stressful. And, you know, add on top of that a really long commute, which is more stress. And there's just a lot of stress to go around. So I'm just trying to minimalize the impact that has on me by trying to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. So some things have to give a little bit, which means that I'm going to make less videos, I'm going to be on less. Which, you know, is unfortunate. I love this game. I love the community, but you know, sometimes we have to make little sacrifices. How many of these do I have now? They'll give us 60, so you know, we're 60% of the way there, which is nice. And then on my days off, I've been making sure I've been spending time with friends and doing things other than just sitting at a computer.
Sweet, sweet treasure.
To make sure that, you know, I'm getting out there. The weather's been nice, so you know, spending time with nature and exploring and all that good stuff. Because that's important, right? We gotta... Okay, what is nature? There's the argument, what is nature, right? What if I... what if I told you that everything, even this video game playing right now, is still technically part of nature? Right? It encompasses everything that is in the cosmos. Ooh, double rare pull. Let's see if these are selling for anything good these days. My rule of thumb is if it's above 25, because these are selling for 30, well, I guess technically I should only be selling these if I can get like an equivalent amount out of.
This is most remarkable.
I'm not doing this for the gold, I'm doing this for the mats at this point. Rebuilding my ecto supplies, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, so like, there's this colloquialization of the term nature, right? Which means to be out in like a forest, right? But that is not the only thing that is nature.
Sweet
It's this weird thing that people do where they're just like, I want to go see nature, so let's go walk in the woods. And it's just like, well, you know, you live in a desert environ, right? That is therefore to nature. It's just, it's kind of like I don't know what to call it, but I call it like the national park crisis we have going on right now, which is that the national parks are extremely popular. And because of such, they're being overutilized and overtaxed to the point where, like, things such as mechanical and bioturbation, which are the means by which animals, and then the things animals, so we're humans or animals, right? The things we create are changing the geology of the areas, right? So it's like impacting the soils and sediments and stuff like that, so that they'll never be the same again. Add to that trash, add to that, you know, just all the implications of having humans like really, really, really focusing a lot of their presence in a small area. And boy, howdy, like, I really think national parks are in trouble, right? They're in trouble of becoming more of a tourist attraction, more like a Disneyland aesthetic, than being actually a getaway. And the big problem with that is that those areas will not ever go back to being what they were before, right? You can't undo permanent damage, and that's what they're going to be facing now. Went on a long tangent there, but let's take a look at our dailies. Enemy player damage, enemy guards, supply caravan, and top scoreboard. I have not been playing any PvP, which is not good on my part. Oh, we are desert home, which is fantastic, because I was actually thinking about making a video on how to navigate the different maps, and this would be a great time to showcase the desert map. So we're going to timestamp this here. So we're 7 minutes and 35 seconds into the video. So desert map, the desert Borderland, right? So this would be Rawls Rest. That's the map that's the group I'm currently allied with. Is obviously the central northern map. It is commonly referred to as like the worst map. I would say that that's the case because it is multi-dimensional, right? It is not just a map on a flat plane where you can do anything on that one plane. Now I'll truncate this conversation by saying the Alpine maps and the Eternal Battlegrounds maps do have different layers to them, but there's very little actual verticality. Whereas the desert map has a lot of verticality. So where we are at right now, believe it or not, is actually the middle of the layers, right? There's not actually a map selector on here to show the different height, the different elevations, but you just gotta take my word for it, because this up here is a high elevation, 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 so is this, right? You have the medium elevation areas, which are around this area here, and then you can drop down into the low elevation areas, which is like the center of the map. Think of it like a giant ravine where everything feeds into the center, right? So looking from the corners, everything feeds into this center of the map area, right? This is the lowest point in the map. I don't know if this was an attempt by the programmers and developers to try to focus players into this area, but it sure hasn't worked because there's very little actual focus in this area. So you have the obvious high and low points, and then within some areas, like within here in Stoic Rampart, within here in Firekeep, the Blistering Undercroft, and within Airkeep, Osprey's Palace, you have layers, right? So we'll work our way down here to Stoic Rampart, Earthkeep, where where we can meet up with the Earth Nation, the Earthbenders, and talk about the times that the Fire Nation invaded. I wonder if there's a reward track for this event. Dragon coffers. Might be a semi-decent way. I really want to finish this one first, though, and then we'll swap over to that. So let's pop our... I know I'm getting a little tangented here, but we're just a little reminder. Okay, so... Actually, a great reminder. If this is your home map, you're going to start in this northern area, right? You're going to start in this the Citadel. There's an east and a west exit, right? Which are portals. And then there's no exit through this, which is just kind of like the vendor area. And then you have North Camp. So this is this map, North Camp, which is Ham's Lab. And then you have the two towers, right? Which is Eternal Necropolis to the east and Odell's Academy to the west. You have more camps, Budiger's Hideaway and Rory's Refuge to the east and west. And then you have the garrison or the main keep, which is Stoic Rampart, which is right here in the middle, right? Obviously, you want to try to maintain this. We have our ruins here in the middle, which give you the Bloodlust bonus. And then we have two more keeps, which I've already mentioned, which is Blistering Undercoff Fire Keep, as it's colloquially known, and Osprey's Palace, which is colloquially known as Air Keep. In addition, you have the tiered setup again of camps. So 1, 2, 3, right? You have the camps of McLean's Encampment, Dust Whisper Well, and Bower Farmstead, surrounded, which are surrounding Crankshaft Depot, which is Southeast Tower, and Parched Outpost, which is Southwest Tower. If red is your home borderland, you can't enter this area or this area. This would be the starting areas for the corresponding colors. So we have an emergency waypoint initiated. So it looks like we have a defense going on of Fire Keep. So here we can take a look at the verticality really well. So Fire Keep, Blistering Undercoft is a great example. We are on the upper layer. There's a middle layer, and then a lower layer. The gates and the walls by which the opponents had to break through initially are at the lowest level. Then there's a middle level, which is right down here, which there are additional walls to each side and gates to each side. And then the highest level is up here where we have the where we have these invaders doing their thing right now.
Adrenaline surging.
I'm just gonna do this just to make him angry. Because we're gonna lose the keep, but I enjoy making it difficult for the enemies to take things. And I'm probably gonna die, which is fine. I mean, it's not. Oh, actually, I'm gonna get out of here. We'll make our way back up to Citadel. But the main point was getting this done. So we got one of our dailies done. That's a pretty big green blob, so we're going to talk about that, right? A blob is a zerg, for other place, for lack of better terms. Obviously, there's very little that a singular individual can do against something of that size. So when you exit through one of the portals, you either come out on the east or west side, and it brings you out and it gives you the ability to go up, which drops you into the upper layer, which is where Ham's Lamb is, or you can go down to this like middle layer zone, which is the entrance into these towers, right? As far as navigating the maps to get to objectives, right, you have pathways. So as you can see, there's these different roads and pathways that get you areas. There's also kind of like hidden areas that can get you around things. So like a great example is right now Blistering Undercoff just got taken by green. So the ability for me to go through the gates and the walls has been stopped. I can't do that anymore. But there's alternative paths, right? The beauty of Desert Borderland is that you can use verticality to your benefit to sneak around the map. And so I'll show you an example. So I'm willing to bet that green Zerg is taking this camp right now, and that they're going to be working their way towards our garrison, which is our main keep, which is Stoic Rampart. So, oh yeah, orange swords have been popped. That means it's like, what, more than 20 people striking an objective in a small amount of space. So you can see there's some verticality here, or there's stuff you can get up to. There's stairs there and stuff like that. There's some verticality here. There's a lower area, right, and a higher area. We can... we can drop off here, get into the lower area, and let's see what this guy wants.
Adrenaline surging.
I don't know if he's the precursor for the Zerg. Probably. I've been known to tempt fate way too many times with big Zergs around. Yep, he is.
Such might. Adrenaline surging.
So we'll get away from that here. And just another example that having mobility is a big part of this game. Right, we gotta be able to get away. So if you come up this ramp, for example, right? We get above, like where the enemy's at for now, right? And we can get up here. And there's all these stairs, all these ramps that get us way, way, way up here. Which is actually the level that this shrine is at. Which is one of the shrines for this keep. And from here, we can actually make our way across over to, like, this camp. Without having to worry about any of the things that are in the way in regards to Fire Keep. Now, I remember I said Fire Keep, like, where the Lord is at was the highest point. Well, that's the highest point for that keep. The highest point, topographically speaking, is actually where, is right up here, but is where we're at in the map right now. And this allows more movement, right? So the keep is actually underneath us, and we're making our way across to the high elevation, which is where this camp is at, right? As you can see, there's Fire Keep down there. This is what causes most people to dislike this map, is the verticality. But I'll tell you one thing, the verticality makes this map so much more engaging, right? It allows us to, you know, do like what I'm doing now, which is that I just avoided a Zerg, not that they were really interested in coming at me, by simply just going above them, right? Which is not always an option in other maps. Oh gosh. There you go. Alright, 5 enemy guards done. But it also means you can do the opposite, right? You can drop down below. So let's say an enemy Zerg was coming across this way, you can drop down below. It's a little bit harder to do over here because the connectivity is really only benefiting whoever owns the keep. You can go down, you can go below, but going up is much harder to do. Going across, going up and going north and south on the map is harder to do above. You can cut across here, you can go up here, but you can't really connect the top, the north and south all that well, which is a sad reality. I just need one event, enemy supply caravan. So once again, we're going to start going down a little bit in elevation, but we're not actually like losing any verticality. We're staying on the same higher area, but we'll go to kind of like a transitional area right between these two, where you can go down, you can go up, right? And that's, if you really look on the map, you can see that there's little transitional areas all throughout it. Like here, breaking down the lower, there, through there, right? They're all over there, right? There's a ton of up and down, right? After we're done taking this, I'll show you, if I remember to, which hopefully I will, I'll show you how you can actually use some things coded onto the map to help you with traversing from up to down. Because of course gravity hurts, right? If you find yourself falling from a great height, you're going to die. But the game has things in place to help you with that, so it's not so dangerous. And then there's weird, obscure little things, right? So, like, there's this shelf here. Obviously, it's cliffed. You can't get up that. But they did put a breach in it right here, which you can use, right? Stuff like that. I've got to make sure I get a daily because I want the achievement, or the daily to get done. Because I have not been doing my dailies all week, and that's bad on me. It happens.
I'll destroy you all!
Alright, so that's done.
No!
Alright, so finished taking this camp. So we're going to target the scout. See, I wasn't paying attention, and his blind had stopped me from doing anything to him, right?
Better than movement. No!
Alright. Oh, I forgot to do this too. 20 of those. See what we turned into. We turned into a ghost. Oh, cool. I like the ghost. And then we'll do some of these. 20 of those. Should have started off with that, but I forgot. I got distracted. Alright, so let's say you're not really a ghost, right? A ghost can take a fall from a great height and be just fine. Right? Let's say you're an average dragon Norn boy. Dailies are done. Fantastic. Open up some of this real quick. Just do some inventory stuff while we are en route to our next little show and tell. I'll show you next to this camp, this tower. If my memory serves me correct, there is a gosh, hay bale. So this one's marked with a hay bale and like a little bird on it right now. And you see down there, there's a hay bale down here, right? I'm gonna take care of this really quick. Alright, so see that hay bale right there? I'm marking with my mouse, right? Totally not pointing at the screen with my finger right now. If you jump on that hay bale, because I can't glide here, I'm in enemy territory, right? But if I jump onto this hay bale, I will take no fall damage, right? And this allows us to move rapidly vertically, up and down without taking damage and dying. It also means I can take this ramp and go all the way back up and assault this farm. I can take the ramp down this way and assault that sentry position. We lost our keep, which is fine. So I'm going to pull him back behind here.
Such might. My strength increases. Close to time.
Ooh, they got a really good...
So much power. I can take on the world. Faster. I need energy. Can't stop me.
There we go. Sorry, I had to think about it there. I wasn't really paying all that close of attention when I started it. I feel a little rusty, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, so... Oh boy. What do we got here? Druid.
Such adrenaline surging.
I chose you.
Can't stop me. And poisons.
Definitely not on my top game today, which is fine. Wasn't really too worried about focusing on taking the camp. Right, so let's go off of this side over here. I'll show you. So if you come out of the eastern portal, so I've shown you the western portal and some of the options it gives you. Right, you can come out and you can go up this ramp here, which will take you to North Camp. You can follow that road out that way and go all the way to Eternal Necropolis, which is northeast tower, right? And this once again highlights the difference in verticality, right? So you have to drop down to get off this higher elevation area to make it to the camp. Now,
No.
so now I'm going to show the difference in airkeep. Do that, make some distance.
Here nor there.
Stop me.
In the earth.
Marvelous. Adrenaline surging. Such might.
I need help.
Cool. So you have this avenue down here, which will take you down to the lower elevations near around Earthkeep, which is Stoic Rampart, Earthkeep as it's colloquially referred to. You can cut across that direction to make it towards Eternal Necropolis, northeast tower, or you can continue down this avenue, right? And to keep you near the keep, wasn't even a good pun. And then if you notice, this is green. Now, if we controlled this keep, we could use this portal to get up there. So there's no quick verticality avenue here, right? But what we can do is we can go down this way, right? And this is not plainly obvious when you're looking at the map, but this ramp takes you back up to Airkeep. And now I randomly have people following me, which is fine, I suppose. But, I mean, not the purpose of what I'm doing right now. They probably have no idea that I'm making a video on how to traverse this map, right? This ramp over here will take you into the keep itself as far as the gates and the walls go. You can surmount that. You can go around it by taking this avenue, which takes you up north, or up above for a short little spell, and allows you to kind of bypass the barricades that the team has if they own this map. So now you can drop down here, you can go across and enter into the ruins areas. You can go down and go straight across here, or you can go up. right? And as we go up, we find it's merely just another avenue of going north and south on the map. But you can continue to go up, and you'll find yourself once again at like one of the highest verticality points, which is near a shrine for airkeep. And it is a means of getting north and south on the map. It's just really, compared to Firekeep, takes forever to get north and south, right? You can go down this way and it drops you off. If you go down this route, right, it drops you off right in between this tower, the starting area, and that camp. If you go across here, you can get back down right next to Airkeep, right? This is a place you'll typically see people drop catapults and stuff like that to breach the outer wall of Airkeep. And then you can set some up here to breach the inner wall and then get up into the Lord Room. So these are jump pads. You can only use them if you control the map area in your color. So if I try to use this right now, it would just launch me off. And then there's a giant beetle. So, well, that's what I got for you guys today. That's all I really have time for. I have to start getting prepared for the day. So thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and, you know, make good decisions, be good people, and we'll see you next time. Take care.